What is up, everybody? And we're back again for another round of emphasis on sports. As usual, I'm your host, Damon Anthony. And you know what we do? We just kick the bull. We talk about sports and sports only. I'm not with all the sideline stuff and all the personal things and all that. That's not why I watch sports. It's just not. I love the competition. I love the fandom. I just love the games. That's my drop. All right. So let's get it going. So since the last time that we talked, a champion has been crowned. The New York Liberty knocked off the Minnesota Lynx in Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. Fantastic game, start to finish. Now, also, there was some controversy towards the end of the game, some calls, some no calls, some embellishments, some things like that. But at the end of the day, New York took it home. It was fantastic atmosphere for that. And this was also the Liberty's first championship. So that adds a little bit more to it. Yeah, we know there's going to be some questions, but there's always questions. There's always. It's one of the reasons why the people hate the Chiefs is because there's always something, right? But hey, Minnesota, y'all came out, y'all balled out. You know, we know that the future looks bright for this team, especially with Nafisa. We know you guys will be back and be back strong. This year just happened to be the New York Liberty. They came out, did their thing, even with Sabrina and Stewie really having bad offensive games. They really did. But they're the champs now. Wear the ring. If you like it, win it, put a ring on it. That's what I say. You heard me? All right. So WNBA is wrapped up. It's been a great season. We know Caitlin Clark came into the league, kind of took the league by storm from an optic standpoint. A lot more people wanted to watch the WNBA and were a lot more interested in the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark and because of the Clark Angel Reese thing coming from college. Nothing wrong with that. We loved having the eyes on it. I loved having the eyes on it. I love the fact that if I talk about the WNBA, I get more people reacting to that than if I talk about football, basketball, hockey, baseball combined. And you know what? That's kind of cool. It's cool to see a league grow, regardless of how anyone thinks it's growing. We all should know Caitlin Clark walked in the door. People that liked her in college, now they're watching the WNBA. They may not have watched before, but now they're watching. There's some people that watch because of the hate. You're still watching. And you know what? Maybe you'll end up being a fan. Maybe you won't. But congrats, ladies. Y'all are doing your thing. I also like the opt out on the CBA clause. Let's start getting these ladies some money. Let's start getting these ladies paid. That's what they deserve. They're out here just like I sat on my couch and I watched that game right along with the NLCS, right along with the ALCS, right along with NFL football. Pay the ladies. Pay the ladies. All right. In baseball, the World Series has been set. The Dodgers knocked off the Mets in the NLCS. Now the Mets, they did, have some really good games. A couple of them, they put up some numbers. But the Dodgers, they look like a wagon. They look really, really good. And they're going to the World Series. And who are they facing? They're facing a big rival of theirs. Some of y'all may not think about it, may not realize it, because it's LA Dodgers in the NLC, in the National League, New York Yankees in the American League. But remember, these two teams once shared a city. These Dodgers used to be the Brooklyn Dodgers. And back in the day when they were the Brooklyn Dodgers, they were okay, right? They moved to LA. They played in a lot of World Series against each other before even my time. I'm 44. So before the 80s, they had played against each other a bunch of times, and the Yankees kept winning. Then the Dodgers took one home in the early 80s. So we're going to get back to that small little bit of a rivalry. Speaking of rivalries, I know I've talked about this. I know I've said we're going to do a rivalry show. I'm doing it tomorrow. I got another show. I'm doing probably 3 different ones tomorrow. 2 specialties, 1 NFL week preview, all tomorrow. So let's go. Let's strap in. Let's be ready. But World Series, Yankees, Dodgers should be one hell of a series. Not only do I think it's going to be a hell of a series, but I also know for sure the stars are going to be out. Yankees haven't been in the series since I believe 2009, something like that. So we know we're going to see all the Yankee greats. Anytime there's a major baseball game in New York, everybody comes out. We're going to see everybody. Also, we're in LA. We're going to see everybody. So it's going to be real cool seeing this World Series. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Dodgers. I originally picked the Dodgers against the Guardians in the World Series, so I'm going to stick with one of my picks as they're still there. Also, congrats, big shout to the Mets and the Guardians. The Guardians, out of the 4 teams that were left, had the lowest payroll by a lot. And they still managed to be right there. Yankees did their thing. Yankees knocked them out. Juan Soto. Hey, look, let me clue y'all on something, let you know something. I love shit talk. I love that. Because if you talk shit, you have to back it up. And if you back it up, swag. So when Juan Soto dropped that homer, that bomb to send him to the World Series, that was one of the best shit talk at bats. Bat swings, bat flips, celebrations that I've seen. I mean, pitcher's pitching the ball. And he's looking at him. He's nodding like, yep, I got you. And he got him. So I'm really excited for this World Series. Starts this Friday. I believe 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a real good one. I expect this one to go 6 or 7 games, but I'm going to take the Dodgers. I'm going to take Shohei Ohtani, actually taking home a World Series ring, making Mike Trout just a little bit sad over there in Angel Land. But this one's going to be a hell of a series. Can't wait. Another thing that started up, y'all. The NBA is back. Love that for all of us. Like I said before, this is my favorite time in sports. This upcoming week is about to give me everything that I need. NBA is back. World Series is playing. National Football League. We're about to walk into week 8 hockey. Still rolling. Just started that engine. The engine's purring, but just got it going. So for me, and college football is there. So for me, this is prime time. This is great time right here. These are the times when you throw something in the crock pot and you tell your significant other, hey, you may not like sports. I'm going to be locked away. This is great. So let's talk about the NBA a little bit. So one of the shows I am going to do tomorrow, I'm going to do an NBA preview. I'm going to talk about these divisions. I'm going to talk about my playoff predictions and my NBA Finals prediction. I'm not going to get too crazy. Y'all know I'm a 49er fan. I'm not a Golden State Warriors fan. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. So just to let y'all know, so you don't think that I'm bandwagoning throughout the season, I am a Dallas Mavericks fan, period. All right. So last night in the association, we started the season. We had 2 big games on TNT. First, we had the Knicks and the Celtics, ring night. Celtics got their rings. Celtics beat the shit out of the Knicks. They won 132-109, so 23-point victory, but the game wasn't that close. Celtics also tied the mark for opening night ring ceremony team threes. They were dropping threes from everywhere. Everybody was doing it too. You name them, we hit them. Until it got time to break the record. Then they couldn't hit nothing. A lot of people will look at Mikal Bridges and talk about how bad that he scored, how bad his shooting percentage was. It's game 1, y'all. Just the same as after game 1, you shouldn't sit here and crown the Celtics. Celtics are good. They're going to be good. They may be my finals pick for the East. But let's keep it real. It's one game. I believe the Celtics are going to be a fantastic team. I also think the Knicks are too. This is just a game charged with a lot of energy. They get their rings. You got Celtic greats in the house. City is charged up. The arena is charged up. We'll see what happens. All right. Second game, Minnesota at the Lakers. Lakers won this one 110-103. But the biggest story of the night in all of basketball, really in all of sports yesterday, biggest story in all of sports yesterday, fair enough. Bronny and LeBron on the court at the same time with Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. sitting courtside. It was a hell of a thing to see. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge LeBron fan, I'm not a LeBron hater. I respect him. Watched his whole career. Dude's been awesome, right? Actually, like, love it. Love seeing him get down. That being said, this was awesome. This was a dynamic moment to watch. This was fantastic. To watch anybody be able to stick around in a league playing at a consistently high level for long enough that their son checks into a game with them. And if you saw the where the camera when they were looking at them and they had the mic'd up kind of moment, and Bronny was about to check in, that was much more of a, you could look at it as a dad moment and a veteran to a rookie moment. When he was saying, "Hey, you ready? You see all the energy? Just play." That was great to see. It was real cool to see. And I also like what JJ Redick did. He got the media out of the way early. First game of the season. Because Bronny only played 3 minutes. It wasn't like he was going to be out there suited up and playing forever. But what he did was he neutralized the media. Every game they're going to ask, when's Bronny going to play? When's he going to check in? How's this going to work out? Well, you know what we'll do? Second quarter, come on, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Run around for 3 minutes, try and hit a shot, sit your ass back on the bench. Your time will come. So real cool to see last night. It was a really good game. I think the best is yet to come with Minnesota because, with the influx of DiVincenzo and Randall, I don't really know about the Lakers. The Lakers looked good last night. If they play like that, they will continue to be good. Health is going to be a big one. Hachimura, I really think he needs to be that guy. He needs to be their third option, really, to get this team to going. So we'll see what happens there. Now, tonight is the first full slate of NBA basketball. Some of the matchups, great. Some of them kind of regional, divisional rivalry type things. Indy, Detroit, that's a real regional, right? Orlando, Miami, of course, that's a battle of Florida. Orlando, they're going to be a good team. They'll probably make the playoffs. So this should be a good one. We know what Miami brings to the table. Milwaukee and Philly. This one I'm going to have on TV. I got to check it out, see what happens. Look, I believe the Bucks are going to be a damn good team this year. Now you're going to have Lillard's second time in the mix with the Freak. Now we're going to see how that team works. Let's see what happens with Chris Middleton. I know he's injured right now. When he comes back, if he can come back healthy and play close to what he did that championship year, they could be a real force to be reckoned with. Now, on the other side of that, you got the 76ers, which everyone is putting them in the top three in the East. We're also seeing Embiid may not play second games of back-to-backs. So I really don't know what Philly's going to look like. Is Paul George all the way healthy? Are they ready to go? This is going to be a good tip-off game for the season. Cleveland, Toronto. That's another game that's a very regional game. I live in Northeast Ohio. Toronto's not that far. Toronto's a team that's rebuilding and that's trying to pull their shit together. Cleveland's a team that's young, pretty good, and they just need some experience. Kenny Atkinson checking he's their new coach. I think he's going to do a good job with that team, but we shall see. This may be the emergence of Evan Mobley that year. Don't know yet. Little rocky, little shaky. Other games going on, other like big games. Memphis and Houston is actually bigger than you think. This return of John Morant. We know that Memphis is going to be able to ball. They got Edie now. They actually got a 7-footer that can play a little bit, play some decent defense. Let's see what happens with them. On the other side of that, Utah's a sneaky good team. Lauri Markkanen, he's good. He's good. College basketball, I'm a huge Arizona Wildcat fan, so I've been a fan of his for a couple years. But he's real damn solid. Another game tonight, Phoenix and LA Clippers. Now, this one I expect Phoenix to come out, punch them in the face, have a real good game. The Clippers, we just don't know what's up with them. We know Paul George left. We know Kawhi is still hurt. We don't know, and no one knows when he's going to come back. So we don't really know how that's going to go. But that's a good game to start the season, especially Phoenix's side. Now, let's see if we can fold Bradley Beal into it. They talked about their big three being Beal, KD, and Book. Now we can see them play. Finishing off the night is Golden State and Portland. That's just a game to me. That's one of them nobody cares games of the week. right? So this is going to be a really, really fun night to watch basketball. I'm really, really glad that basketball is back. Give me basketball. Give me some football. Give me the World Series. Give me hockey. Give me college basketball. That's on the way. Give me college football. Only thing it does is drive my fiance wild, but I love it. I'm telling you, I love it. Let's talk the NFL. All right, so last time we talked, we did our preview of week 7. So we got to break down week 7, y'all. I know I missed a day. But I'm going to try and keep it rather short and sweet. So last week's Thursday night game, Denver and New Orleans. Denver won that one 33-10. Denver continues to look like a team on the rise. Not like a team that's going to do anything this year, but they got the young quarterback. They got Sean Payton. I believe they look like they're going in the right direction. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, they do not. The New Orleans Saints, they just don't look like a good team at all. At all. So keep popping off, Denver. New Orleans, you got to pull your shit together. Other games around the league. So Jacksonville, London, that's like second home to them. They do their thing. Jacksonville went out. They smacked up New England. I don't really have a lot of things to say on this one because New England is not a very good team. Jacksonville isn't either. They just happen to be playing in London. They stayed for a week. You don't have the jet lag. You don't have any of those things where you got to get used to where you're at and the food and the people and your timing and all of that. They were there for a week. So they came out and did what they probably should have done. Then we had Seattle at Atlanta. Seattle won 34-14 in Atlanta. I didn't see this one coming. I felt like Atlanta would play a little better than they did. Seattle came out off of their loss to the 49ers. They had something to prove. They proved it, that they're still a pretty good team. Now, we know DK Metcalf walked away from this one a little injured, a little banged up. Let's see what happens. Maybe he misses a little time. Maybe he doesn't. The dude's built like a Mack truck. On the other side of the ball, Atlanta, you got to do better at home. You got to be more consistent at home. Atlanta, I'll say up until this coming Sunday, there's going to be a little bit of mulligan with them because Kirk's still learning everything there. They're all learning Kirk. We did see Kyle Pitts with a little more action, which I think we should, but I'm not seeing the action out of Bijan Robinson. I mean, the dude, you know who he is. Let's step it up, Atlanta. Let's step it up. Then we had Tennessee and Buffalo. Buffalo walked into Tennessee and beat the brakes off of them, 34-10. I think everybody saw that coming. It looks like Will Levis is going to start riding the bench and Mason Rudolph is going to play. One note to this game, to these teams, Tennessee Titans traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. A lot of people say the rich get richer. You're able to have the capital to go and trade for somebody. Congrats to you. Some of these other teams can't or won't do it. But back to this game. This was the first game with Amari Cooper. He did catch a touchdown. I know he's happy to be in a situation with a quarterback that will find him, will place the ball where he wants to. And there's not a fog of BS going around the team that has nothing to do with him. So he walks into that game, scores his first touchdown there. I believe this can be big for Amari Cooper this year, and it's really going to help the Bills build and be a little bit of a better team. On the Tennessee side, they just need help all around. Like I say, they just traded Hopkins. This is one of those they're kind of folding games. That's what I believe. At least they're definitely folding up. Next game on the bracket was Cincinnati and Cleveland. Now, Cincy won this game 21-14, and there was a lot of controversy in this game, if you will. So Deshaun Watson ruptured his Achilles. He's out for the season. And a lot of fans cheered for the fact that he got hurt. Listen, I've said this before. Be a fan. You're not part of the game. You're a fan. Understand that first. Right? And that being said, if you're a fan, just cheer for the player. You could root against a player. You could dislike a player. You can not like what they're about. You can not like their personal life. I'll never tell you that you got to like them. You don't root for somebody to get hurt. That's just something you don't do. There's teams, there's players that throughout my life I hate. I'll sit here and tell you, hate the Cowboys, hate the Lakers, hate the Yankees. I never wish anybody to get hurt. I want everybody to walk away from the game healthy and just to be able to live a life. Because for me personally, I watch the sport because I love the competition. I love the fandom. I love the energy. I love the feel of these things. I don't watch these things to root for people to get hurt. So yes, Deshaun's hurt. I think this is going to actually set the Cleveland Browns in a better place than they would have been if he didn't. Yes, they still have to pay him. They absolutely have to pay him. But now you can move on from him and no one's going to bat an eye at all. At all. All right. So Cincinnati on the other side, they did what they had to do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Browns are a good team, so they came out and beat a good team. But you got to go out and beat these teams. Cincinnati has to dig themselves out of a hole, and they're doing that slowly but surely. So let's see what next week brings. Texans and the Green Bay Packers. This one came down to the very end. This was a really interesting game. Green Bay took this one down 24-22 with a walk-off field goal, pretty much a walk-off field goal. Pretty cool game to see. You know, I thought there was going to be more scoring, a little more up and down on this game. No, Houston's been so hurt up on defense. Definitely thought that Green Bay would score a little more. But I look at these teams as two teams that I think I'm going to see in the postseason. Houston, I have no doubt in my mind they're going to win their division because the other teams in their division really aren't that good. Meanwhile, Green Bay is in probably the toughest division in football, but that's a division they all got to beat each other up some. So let's see kind of who ekes out at the end. Green Bay usually has the upper hand in those December games because it is so cold up in Lambeau. That sometimes, especially when you're playing the Detroits and Minnesotas who are in those domes, you can help yourself a little bit, especially if they get any of these teams from the South, from Florida, from the West Coast. It could really change some things for those ones. So that's going to be a real good race with Green Bay. Then you had the Dolphins and the Colts. This one, dog of a game. The Colts won 16-10. They should have won 16-10. They should have won more than that. But an absolute dog of a game. Then we had the game, one of the games I was really looking forward to seeing. Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit wins that one 31-29. That was a hell of a game. Now, I said last week, Detroit to me looked like the cream of the crop in the NFC. I'm sticking by that. I had a lot of people kind of chirp at me because of Minnesota's record. I'm not going to chirp back at y'all. This is a long season. I go off of what I see. Detroit has been looking like a team getting better every week and finding better ways to win. Jared Goff is playing out of this world. He's playing outstanding. On the other side, hey, listen, Minnesota, y'all are all right. You got a great defense. You have a good offense and a good offensive system. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I just believe that Detroit's the best team in the NFC. I'm not going to say the best team in the league because I'll talk about them a little later. But Detroit's going to continue to ball. They're going to continue to grow. We may see them make a move around the trade deadline to shore up their defensive line after the loss of Hutch. Can't really knock Detroit right now. I'm not going to knock Minnesota, but I cannot knock Detroit. I can't say that Detroit isn't the best team in the NFC. They did just beat Minnesota, and they look damn good. That's just what they look like, a team that's going to scratch, that's going to scrape, and that's going to be there. Hey, excited to see what Detroit does. Hopefully, Niners can get their shit together. But if not, man, Detroit, if it ain't the Niners, I don't know who's going to stop Detroit. Then we have Philly and the New York Giants. Philly beat the shit out of them, 28-3. Don't got a lot of shit to say there. They were in New York. It was Saquon's return to New York. He did his thing. He absolutely did his thing. Nothing that the Giants could do about it. The fans were probably all pissed at the Giants, rightfully so. But, hey, great effort by the Eagles. Giants have some things to work on. Hey, yo, Daniel Jones, neighbors, he's open. He says he's open. The Giants, they need help. They just need help. They don't look like a good team at all. They just don't. Then we had the Raiders at the Rams. Rams took that one home 20-15. Very, very, very ugly game to watch. The Raiders don't look like they just look like an NFL team. They don't look like a good team at all. Meanwhile, the Rams, it seems like they're trying to kind of fire sell some players and get rid of some stuff. They're going to be just a solid team. I don't think anything great. They're going to be one of those teams that's beatable, but they may beat you by 20. So that one, real dud of a game to see. Then we had Carolina and Washington. Washington took that one down 40-7. I think that was very, very expected. I don't think what people did expect was Jaden Daniels. I think he might have broke a rib too, fractured a rib, somewhere around there, right? So Marcus Mariota had to come in, and he looked good. He looked good when he came in, but they were playing the Panthers. And the Panthers, they're sad, they're bad, they're waiting on the draft. That's what they're waiting. I got nothing to say about the Panthers. They're just a pitiful team. The Commanders, they look like they came out and beat a team that they were supposed to by a lot. That's what they're supposed to do. Look, y'all, then we had the game I was waiting to watch all week. Couldn't wait. Chiefs and the 49ers. This was another game that was real ugly. Chiefs won this one 28-18. So let me say this first as a 49er fan. This was the worst game that I've seen Brock Purdy play. This was the worst offensive output that I've seen the 49ers have for a little while. Defense played damn well. We seen Patrick Mahomes' stat line. We throw 150-something, 2 picks, and still won the game by 10. Meanwhile, on the Niners side, we get Brock throws 3 interceptions, one of them in the end zone. We just did not look good at all. Not to mention, you lose Brandon Ayuk. Debo has pneumonia. He's out. Can't make excuses. We cannot make excuses. Remember what the 49ers have been doing the last couple of years, especially with Shanahan. They have a system that you come in, you learn it. If you execute it, you're all right on offense. Our offense looked pitiful, looked terrible. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, they had a great defense. I'm not going to say that their offense looked good, but they had a fantastic defense. Their defense showed their ass. 49ers got to get it together. We could sit and say, I'll say with no problem that the Detroit Lions are the cream of the crop in the NFC. I believe that wholeheartedly. Now, for the National Football League, all in all, it's the Chiefs. Until you could beat them, you can't say anybody's better than them. Until somebody beats them, you can't say anybody's better than them. And that goes for whoever, 49ers, whoever you want to name. Right now, they're undefeated. They haven't lost a game in a very long time because they had the playoff run. They won the Super Bowl. And they're just chugging along. A lot of people are saying Mahomes isn't playing great. Got a lot of injuries out there, and he doesn't have to play great. The team is put together well. The play calling is well. The idealistic nature of their offense. That's what the Chiefs are. And if you can't beat them, kind of got to shut up. I'm not going to sit here and say nothing negative about them. Kicked our ass. Got nothing. I got nothing. Do your thing. Sunday night game. The reconnection of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Jets at Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh whooped that ass 37-15 in the first start of Russell Wilson in the Steelers uniform. This one, I think a lot of people are expecting with Devontae Adams there. Ooh, the Jets are finally going to take off. I think they forgot that Pittsburgh's actually a pretty good team. They're finding themselves with a new offensive coordinator and a little bit of new system. There's some change there. They're a pretty damn good team, and they waxed the Jets. Let's not get that twisted. So the Jets, pull your shit together. I thought you were going to be a lot better than this. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. The Steelers, on the other hand, you're looking good. You're looking good. Right now, you're the second best in the AFC North, and I mean, y'all could be there. Y'all could be there. Y'all could be right in the playoffs. Let's see what Russell does. Is Arthur Smith going to let Russ cook? I don't know. Let's see. That's going to be real interesting. Then the Monday night games. We had the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baltimore won that one 41-31. There was a little controversy in this game. Not on the Baltimore side. Baltimore did their thing. Lamar Jackson, he's already hunting for another MVP. Derrick Henry, he's hunting for Offensive Player of the Year. This team looks like a team that's ready for that next step. This is the only team in the AFC that I believe the Chiefs should be worried about. I really think that they should be worried about them because they know how to get it done. Now, the controversy is on the Tampa Bay side because in the last couple minutes of the game, when there's no chance for Tampa Bay to win, why do you have your starters on the field? And what happens? Chris Godwin dislocates his ankle, out for the season. Sucks for him because this is a contract year for him. And I know he wanted to go out and just keep shredding, get that bag because of, I think, non-thinking on that part, or maybe think, nothing's going to happen. He's gone for the season. Mike Evans, hamstring, down for a couple weeks. Now, we know this is big for Mike Evans because he's one of the few, the proud, the many that started his career with this many 1,000-yard seasons. He just caught his 100th touchdown pass. We're looking at a Hall of Fame career. He's down for a couple weeks. He wants to keep that streak alive, and I hope he gets the chance to. He's going to need, I believe, 665 yards when he comes back over the rest of the season. Well, with Chris Godwin down, I know Baker's going to hit him off with that ball a lot. Hope you do your thing, Mike. I really do. The last game of the week were the Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. This one, snooze fest. Arizona won 17-15, last-minute field goal, but very much a snooze fest. The Chargers, I think a lot of people had some expectations out of the Chargers, especially with Jim Harbaugh coming in the fold. They don't look good. They look like a very average to below average team. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, they look like a team that has a lot of talent that could be good at some point. They're just not there yet. But we shall see how the season unfolds for them. I think that the Cardinals are going to be one of those teams that's going to be, they're going to be dangerous next year. And I'm not going to say that about too many teams, but they're going to be dangerous next year. When I look across at them at the Chargers, I don't see them being dangerous next year. So with this one, Arizona knocked them off, end of the game, late field goal, and they wrapped up week 7. So look, week 7 over. NBA season started. WNBA finals over. World Series set, ready to go. NHL, the puck is dropping left and right. College football, we're rolling. I might have to dedicate a day to college football. I don't know. Coming up, we're going to have our NBA preview. We're going to have a rivalry episode. And then I got to preview week 8 NFL. Because man, it's going to be a hell of a week. This is Cowboys week for the 49ers. So this is a big one. Let's see what happens. All right. So look, until next time we meet, be good or be good at it. Until I see you again, I'll holler.